Brilliant. Okay, we're actually going to start lying down. Lying down with legs in Baddha Konasana, unless this is a little too much for your hips. And this is where actually 2 blocks are quite nice for first thing in the morning. You can kind of slide them under your thighs. So they sort of take a little bit of the pressure off the hip opener. Feet are really active. So feel like the soles of the feet press together and you retract your toes a little bit. Let's take hands to side of body to start with. Just very gently open and shuffle your shoulders around a little bit. Close your eyes. Start to deepen your breath. Make a solid connection between your breath and the back body as it presses into the mat with the inhales and exhales. So you get an immediate sense of being grounded and tethered to the earth beneath you. So as I was saying to Claire, I did a training course this weekend. And we worked around a couple of themes, but one of the interesting ones which we looked at was acceptance, which as a word, of course, sounds very simple and easy to kind of understand. To actually put into practice is really quite a lot of work. Here's what we're going to do for our intent this morning. We're going to think as we lie here and breathe as to how we are feeling. So check in with yourself as you take the next couple of breaths. And here's what I really want you to do. I want you to be really honest. There is no particular way that you need to feel, and it is not a weakness or a failure to not feel on top of your game. I mean, God, if anyone's feeling that at the moment, good on you. It's completely fine to feel slightly knackered and exhausted. Maybe a little bit emotionally wrung out. To feel flat, just, you know, like there's a lot of stuff going on. On the flip side, you might feel particularly positive, which is phenomenal. What I'm trying to say to you is to feel into your body and your emotional state with no judgment whatsoever. And just sit with what comes up. This is a really interesting process that we all need to learn to do a lot more. Sit with it. It's like you're sitting on a park bench next to what comes up for you. And you're not talking, you're not commenting, you're just sitting next to it. And you're breathing deeply, and that is completely sufficient and okay. Take your hands and gently place them on your side ribs. As you breathe in and out of the sensations that are occurring for you, feel the spread of your ribcage sideways. And as you exhale, let your hip flexors, outer edge of hips, soften a little more and feel for weightiness through the inner outer thighs. Use the slowness and the expansiveness of your breath to wash through the body. One more huge breath. Spread the ribs, lift space into the front and back of the torso. As you exhale, open your mouth and sigh out. Hands gently lift from the side ribs, take them to the outside edge of thighs and draw your thighs together. If you had some blocks there, move them out of the way. Roll onto one side, doesn't matter which, and gently press yourself up to seated with a relaxed neck. When you get all the way up, come and sit. Let's extend the right leg out to the side and tuck your left heel into groin. Janu Shavasana, one leg extended. Bring right hand to inside edge of extended leg. Let's take a chest opener. Reach your left fingertips straight up to ceiling and take an inhale now where you pick up a little more space into the left side ribs. As you exhale, start to soften this left arm behind you with a micro bend in the elbow. And I really want you to focus on the chest area. It's very easy to do this pose and just pull your arm back. I want you to actually feel like you open some space into the top quadrant of your left pec and completely direct your breath into this area. Let the head soften, no drishti, and move into more of a side bend. Slow your breath down and feel it spaciously enter the top area of your chest. As you exhale, let the jaw relax, separating teeth. Maybe begin to move your head slightly forwards and back. Notice if you're gripping around the edge of the neck. There is this expansive opening across your front body. What does that feel like? Sometimes what's really nice first thing in the morning is just to give yourself the space you need to breathe. Let's move this into a side bend. So take this left arm, wrap it slightly, like you've got this sort of lubrication around the shoulder joint, and reach it across for a side bend that is open. So what you're definitely not doing is leaning forwards. If anything, you're rolling your chest opening and continuing to feel space through the front of the chest. Head relaxes, feel for lifting left side waistline away from the left hip socket. You need quite a lot of tone through the belly to do this side bend. You can't be soft. Draw the core, the belly button to the back spine. But let the head go. Re-wrap the shoulder. And then very gently come out of this. Use your left arm to float you back up to straight. Don't rush it. Cup side of head with your right hand and lift your own head up. Change the position of the legs. Extend your left leg out. Tuck your right heel to groin. Foot is flexed on the extended leg, and this foot that's tucked into groin is also pressing into mat. Left hand to inside edge of leg, chest open, reach the right arm up. Initially, take a breath which gives you some length. So it's like you pick up space into the armpit. Put a micro bend in your right arm, draw the arm behind you, but more focus on stretching front of pec. So the way to do this is to move your breath into this area with real focus. Feel for lifting space to the underside of the collarbones. Head is relaxed, jaw is soft. What comes up for you after breath 3? That's when it begins to get interesting. And it might be an emotion that comes up under the tightness. It might be a feeling of collapse, like, God, get me out of here. Sit with that. Sit next to the bench with that sense. And just breathe into it. It's okay. We all feel like collapsing a bit at the moment. Let's take this into a side bend, wrap the top arm, lasso it, reach it across, feel for lifting the chest and opening yourself to the front of the room. Head is relaxed, reach through the fingertips, feel them open and extend. Take a long, luxurious breath into your right side ribs and C-shape, banana them open. And then just feel for what this gives you, this opening, what it offers up. Take a breath, inhale, draw yourself up, cup side of head, lift your own head up. And then just take both legs out in front of you and give them a little shake. Okay, let's come down onto the back again for some abdominals. We're going to do elbow to knee, moving into a thigh traction with frog lifting through afterwards. I'm just setting it up for you. You know what's coming. Lie down on your back, pick your feet up off the floor, knees stacked over hips, and be conscious that these knees stay here. They would love to drift towards the chest, but we're going to keep them there. Feet are active, slightly below knee line. Interlace your hands. Place your hands behind the base of the skull, wrap elbows towards the ceiling. Take a really big inhale, feel it move into side ribs. Lift your head and shoulders slightly off the floor, hold the breath. With the breath held, push your sacrum to mat, curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows reach to left thigh, extend the right foot out 45 degrees, pull your belly down. Inhale, knees stack, back to center. Hold the breath, flatten the low back, curl tailbone, subtle move. Exhale, elbows to right thigh, extend the left leg out 45 degrees. Lift both tips of elbows skyward, lengthen the front of the neck, belly down. Inhale, back to center, full breath. Hold the breath, curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows reach to left thigh, right leg extends. Press the ball of the foot away, spread toes apart. Belly drills downwards as you wrap your shoulders. Inhale, back to center, full breath, no yanking on the neck. Hold the breath, curl tailbone, flatten back to floor. Exhale, elbows reach to right thigh. Left leg extends, press it away. Pick your right shoulder blade off the floor. No tension in the neck. Make the core do all the work. Inhale, back to center, moving into thigh traction. Listen up, take a breath. Hold the breath, curl tailbone. Exhale, elbows to left thigh. Right foot goes straight up to ceiling this time. Reach through the tips of your elbows. Feel for lifting shoulder blades off the mat. Take an inhale, release your right hand, grab the top of your right thigh. This time as you exhale, lift the fleshy part of the thigh up. As you push hand into thigh, thigh into hand, lift your left elbow. Inhale, back to center. Hands behind head, hold the breath. Curl tailbone, exhale, elbows to right thigh, left foot goes straight up to ceiling. Pick up your right shoulder blade, wrap it and pull your belly downwards. Take an inhale, left hand releases, grab a handful of your left upper thigh. As you exhale, traction it up, wrap and lift right shoulder blade, belly goes down through the floor. Inhale back to center, one more round. Hold breath, curl tailbone, exhale, elbows to left thigh, right foot straight up. Finish the exhale by lifting your gaze towards the ceiling and pulling your belly down. Inhale, right hand grabs right thigh, traction it up. As you exhale, pick up some height through the tip of your left elbow, belly draws downwards. Inhale, back to center, full breath. Side ribs expand, hold the breath, curl tailbone, exhale, elbows to right thigh. Left foot goes straight up, wrap and reach tips of elbows. Inhale, left hand releases, grabs thigh, lift it up, pick up some space into right armpit, pull belly down. Release everything down, feet down, head and shoulders down. Put both your hands on your low belly. Close your eyes and really feel your breath move into the pelvic bowl. Notice connection being made between the core and your busy mind, and use this connection to tap into a very important area of your body that provides you with support and strength. Amazing how we numb out from this area. Second set of abs, frog lifting through. We're gonna just do 4 of these. It's gonna be nice and simple. Okay, knees stacked over hips, flex the feet. You're gonna take your hands between the inner knees and just open your legs to the side in frog position. Notice that there might be a little bit of release in the outside edge of the hip as you spread the legs. Do the opposite interlace with your hands. Place your hands behind the head, wrap shoulders, elbows upwards. Take a full inhale, lift your head and shoulders. As you exhale, curl pubic bone to belly button, pulling the belly downwards. Feel like both thigh bones are being reached towards the edge of the room. Inhale, head and shoulders stay lifted, pelvis releases. As you exhale, curl pubic bone to belly button. Reach thigh bones to side of room like they're being traction that way. Wrap and lift elbow tips, pull belly downwards. Jaws relax. Inhale, release the pelvis, head and shoulders stay lifted. Exhale, curl pubic bone to belly button. Reach thigh bones away. Draw your low belly through the floor, wrapping your shoulders upwards. Inhale, release the pelvis. Exhale, curl pubic bone to belly button. Wrap shoulder blades, press your thighs outwards from the hip sockets, pull belly down. Release head and shoulders, hands to outside edge of thighs, draw them together as you inhale. Feet back down, Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, it's just where we started. Place your hands on your hip crests, close your eyes. Take a breath into your front of hips and notice what's coming up for you. You have to be like a detective, a tracker of sensation through the body. What I don't want you to do in these pause poses is go straight back to the lists, reeling around your head, or the stories that you're telling yourself. Feel what's going on in your body instead. It's much more grounding. And if you can't do it easily, just connect to your breath. Okay, hands to outside edge of thighs, draw them together. Bridge pose. Just plain vanilla bridge. Tuck your feet up to butt, stroke the backs of your heels. Reset arms to side of body, palms up. I want you to really notice the soles of your feet, all 4 corners, and press them downwards. As you take your inhale, curl your pubic bone towards belly button, drawing belly button through the floor. Exhale, press into active feet, lift your hip girdle up, and start to open the front line of your body. Imagine there was a piece of string attached to your sternum, and every time you inhale, it's being lifted directly up to the ceiling. So there's this space that is cracking out of your upper back, just below the shoulder blades. And to help you do this, you need a lot of power from the waist downwards. Tuck your sit bones underneath you and squeeze your butt on. Press and lengthen the thigh bones away from the hips. Imagine you are tractioning them away. They're that energized. Feet are pressing through the floor. Inner line of the shin is active as you squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Now lengthen your breath. What happens is when the legs and the whole thing gets a little bit tiring, we forget the breath. I want you to instead increase the breath. I've taken a ridiculous amount of air in on the inhale and really lengthen the exhale. Let's do this 3 more times, totally opening front body with this inhale. Spreading through the front of the ribs, lifting the hips 1 centimeter higher. As you exhale, keep the height. Squeeze energetically inner thighs together. Tuck tailbone underneath you. 1 more long breath. Inhale through the nose. Chest lifts, sternum rises. Exhale it out. Tuck your tailbone, take a breath in. As you exhale, lower slowly, top back, mid back, low back, all the way to floor. When you get back down to earth, appreciate it. The length, the space, the grounding. Slowly roll onto one side and lift yourself up with a relaxed neck. Come onto all fours. Let's do dolphin with a prop between the inner thighs. So you can grab a cork block. If you've got a proper forest roll, grab that. Either prop works. Stick them between the inner thighs and squeeze onto it. Let's bring the forearms down to the mat for dolphin. So stacking elbows under shoulders. Make sure that you've got the right distance. Ooh, just pinged my hair tie all the way across the room. To do this, grab a handful of your upper bicep. So it looks like this. When you're down on your forearms, reach your hands up to the top of your bicep and make sure that you've got a grab, and then notice the position of your elbows. That's the right distance. Pivot on your elbow tips and reset forearms back down to the ground. Take a full breath in, push into your upper back, livening up the space between the shoulder blades. Curl your toes, straighten your legs. Walk your feet in a little tighter. Use the prop immediately to liven up and connect with the inner line of your thighs. Squeeze onto the prop, lifting your sit bones. Push the floor away from you. Head is nowhere near the floor. Shake it out, yes, no. Feel like the eyes of your elbows are pulling towards each other to initiate a wrapping of the shoulder blades towards the armpits. Check in with what you tell yourself in dolphin. Accept that the way you feel in dolphin is completely acceptable, whatever it might be this morning. Shake out the head, yes, no. Take 3 more breaths, and I know it's beginning to get really interesting now. Be curious about the different waves of emotion and sensation that come into the body. Notice whether you feel, I don't know, sometimes we get cross, don't you, in poses. Shake out the head, 1 more breath. Exhale it out, flubber out the lips. Soft lion, that works. Bring your knees down and take the prop from between the inner thighs. Just pause in toe break for a minute. So tuck your toes underneath you and sit on your heels. Take your arms behind you, interlace. Draw your clasped hands down and away and feel for space across the chest as you take a breath in and out. Slow this breath down and notice the nuances of where you can create a little more space. Release, let's come back down. Dolphin with a leg lifted, place forearms down, grab handful of upper bicep, pivot. Take a breath into upper back, dome it out, curl toes, straighten the legs. You don't have the prop, imagine it's there though. That's still the quality of tone on the inner thighs. Neck is relaxed, jaw is relaxed. If you're a jaw clencher, open and close the mouth a few times. Place your right foot more centered on the mat, put weight into it. Slowly inhaling, lift your left leg straight up to ceiling, and then notice if you've lost contact with your left foot. Reconnect with it. Press the big toe side of your left foot so high, it almost touches the ceiling. Neck is relaxed. Shake out the head. Notice what you're doing. Scoop your core up. Engage Uddiyana Bandha. Suck it upwards. Exhale very slowly with a curl in of the abs. Lower the left leg. Place your left foot center on the mat. Re-push through your forearms. Hands are active. Lift your right leg slowly on an inhale. Don't let it just hang up there in the ether without connection. Reach through the big toe of the right foot, wrap your shoulder blades around your armpits, and press again through the floor. Shake it out, that head. One more lift, reach through the toe. As you exhale, scoop the belly, lower the right leg. Come down, knees down, toes touch, spread the knees a little wider, child's pose. Sink your butt down towards the heels. Reach fingertips lengthways on the mat for a sense of opening into armpits, side ribs as you come into this child. Forehead rests on the mat, breathe spaciously into upper back ribs. Could you actually balloon your breath into upper back ribs so you would see movement in your back body if you were watching yourself from above? That's the kind of spread we need through those intercostal muscles, opening out the ribs. And then very slowly come up out of this, hands spread actively on the mat, curl toes, down dog. Pedal out your feet, feel for the backs of the legs opening up. Walk your feet to front of mat, come into a forward fold, feet hip distance, soften the knees. Feel for, it's interesting, in the forward folds that I like doing are not ones where you've got straight legs getting the head down. I want you to bend the knees, pick length into the side ribs and feel like you uncurl yourself so the belly opens up. And then it's like you get to drape yourself forwards. So the sacrum, the low back opens out. Head relaxes. Breathe where you need it. Feel back into your body and notice what's coming up for you right now. Forward folds are a great way to let go energetically. So sigh out on the exhale. And just kind of shake it out a little bit, like you can offload, literally peel a couple of layers off. Soften the knees and then come all the way up to standing with a flat back. Amazing. Okay, sun salutations. Come and stand at the front of your mat. If you've got music to play at home, get it going. If you need a bit of extra padding for your knees across the middle of your mat, use that. Come and stand at the front of your mat and breathe into Tadasana, mountain pose. Spread the hands, palms to side. So you're standing in mountain. I want you to open the hands and roll the thumbs out behind you. So you externally rotate the shoulders and then gently, very subtly tuck tailbone and feel for lift through the front line of the body. Connect with your feet and notice what they're doing. Take an inhale, telescope ribs, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, softness in the knees, remember. Lunge, left leg steps behind you, lower the left knee down. As you inhale, press through both feet and lift your arms up. Exhale, plank, hands to mat, step back. Pause, take an inhale, lift the belly, tuck your tailbone. As you exhale, slowly, modified chaturanga, knees lower, chest lowers, really controlled. Inhale, low cobra, hands forward as shoulders. Feel for lifting the front ribs through the arms. Exhale, come back down, reset hands, down dog. Left leg steps forward, right knee down. Inhale, lunge, reach fingers upwards. Exhale, forward fold, float right foot to join left at front of mat. Inhale, come to standing, root to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go again. Inhale, telescope ribs. Exhale, forward fold, let the back of the neck soften. Right leg lunges, step it behind you, knee down. Take a breath, feel the top of your right foot shin press into the mat. Exhale, plank, step back. Hands, look at your hands, spread the fingers apart, push through the hands, lift the belly. As you exhale, knees lower, chest lower, slow and steady. Low cobra, hands come forward of shoulders. This is a modification. Inhale, lift your front collarbones lengthways and up. Exhale, you're still lengthening on the way down. Reset, down dog. Right leg lunges forward, left knee down. Breathe spaciously. Feel it lift the low ribs away from the hips. Exhale, float to forward fold. Left foot joins right foot. Inhale, root to rise, come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go again, left side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Lunge, left leg steps back, lower the knee. Take a breath in, lift up out of your front rib cage. Feel the wrapping of the shoulders. Exhale, plank, hands to mat, step back. Lift up out of the elbows, armpits, scoop the belly. As you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers slowly. Inhale, low cobra, lift and spread your collarbones. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lunges forward, right knee down. Take a breath, open yourself up with this, wrapping and reaching through fingertips. Exhale, float to forward fold. Find your breath, get it with you. Inhale, come up to standing, pressing through the floor. Exhale, hands to heart center. Right side with a variation. Inhale, telescope ribs, reach the arms. Exhale, forward fold, softness in the knees. Step your right foot behind you. Do not lower the knee. Come into a high lunge position. As you inhale, pressing actively through the feet, rise up. Pause here for 3 breaths. Wrap your shoulders, tuck your tailbone and lift space into your solar plexus, reaching through your sparkly fingertips. Notice the front of the right hip. Give it some space, lengthening the right thigh bone away as you retuck tailbone. Press the right heel to the floor. Release, float hands to mat, step back into plank, take a breath. Lift your belly, scoop tailbone. As you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers, modified chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra, lift and lengthen. Feel for reaching through side ribs. Exhale, down dog. Right leg steps to front of mat. Do not lower the left knee. Pause. Hands frame the right foot. Take an inhale, tucking tailbone. Press through your right leg and come up to high lunge. Notice if you're reaching so far up, you're crushing your neck and head to death. Wrap your shoulders. Feel for a softness as you grab an imaginary beach ball. Lengthen the left leg. Feel the opening in left hip, but tuck sit bone underneath you for low back support. Feet are active. Feel where they press into the mat, both feet. Take a breath and notice where it moves. Notice where you need your breath. Release, float hands to frame the right foot. Left foot joins right foot for forward fold. Inhale, rise up to standing slowly. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause into Tadasana, pressing thumbs to your chest. And close your eyes. What can you accept right now, right here in this moment? Because by the way, it's the only one we've really got. What does it feel like to reside in your body, and how willing are you to just accept that? All of it, all the messy bits, all the good bits, all of it. Let's do some vignettes. Take an inhale, sink your butt low, chair pose. Exhale, deep forward fold all the way down. Soften the back of the neck. Halfway lift, inhale, hands on shins, lengthen. Exhale, step or hop into plank. Pause, take a breath in plank, push the floor away from you. Let's come down through modified chaturanga, lower knees, lower chest, slowly. Inhale, low cobra, lift and scoops space into front belly. Exhale, down dog. Step left leg to front of mat for warrior two. So back foot 90 degrees, front foot straight. Check your alignment. If you did a line from left heel, it would intersect into right arch. Extend the arms to side. We're going to do kite hawk. Turn your thumbs up, palms face forwards. Notice your shoulders, slide them down. You can have length and openness without the hunch, right? Take an inhale. Start to lift the shoulder up now and roll it in its socket behind you, dipping the thumbs back, spreading your wings. As you exhale, shoulder lifts, hand rotates, dip thumbs down, reach away. Two more like this. Inhale, lift up. Feel for articulating the shoulder, the head of the arm bone in that shoulder socket. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Reach space through the front of the chest as you open your arms. Little mini upper back bend almost. Exhale, roll it out. Thumbs dip down, press away. Release the arms. You'll need a cork block. Sorry, I should have said that to have handy. Hopefully you've got one. Place your cork block to inner edge of your left foot. Extended warrior. Slide your left hand down onto the block. High side probably works best for space around the left waistline. Take an inhale, reach your left arm to ceiling. So this feels a bit kite hawkish. Sorry, right hand up, because you're spreading your wings. Let the head soften, no drishti. If you are slumping into your left shoulder, sort it out. It's not a pause, right? Push the hand into the block, create space and length across the whole of the front body. To go a little deeper, wrap with softness the top arm and reach your right fingertips straight ahead. Without dipping the chest, if anything, rolling the chest even more open to the front of the room. There is a side body extension here from right fingertip to right outside edge of foot. I want you to breathe into it. Let the jaw and the neck go. One more breath. Press firmly through outside edge of right foot. Release. Right hand floats down. Move the block to one side. Walk your left foot a little wider on the mat. Put both hands to inside edge of left foot. I want you to lower the right knee down. So you're in a version of lizard mancoon with the back leg lowered. And if you don't feel a stretch through your right front of leg, push the knee a little further behind. You can stay here. You might start to bend your elbows and lower the torso. Another option is to actually pick up the left hand, sweep it behind you, and then grab right heel, pulling it to butt. So this is a more intense front of leg opener. The trick is not to grab the foot and come out of the knee bend, but rather to let the right hip sink downwards, because then it all starts happening. If you haven't got hold of the back foot and you've got hands to inner edge of foot, you're just getting the breath into the front of that right hip. Both options completely fine. Come out of this slowly, step back into plank. Move the left foot behind you, scoop the belly up. As you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers, modified chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Hands slightly forward of shoulders, lift your chest and squeeze your midpoint of shoulder blades together. Exhale, you're still lengthening, reset, down dog. Take 3 breaths in down dog and pedal out the feet. So feel for pressing the heels alternately downwards and engaging a stretch through the calf muscle. Still got the shoulders wrapped, eyes of elbows, still fascinated to be towards each other. Step your right foot to front of mat, warrior 2, kite hawk. Front foot straight, back foot 90 degrees, maybe slightly angled with the toes. Extend the arms, palms face forward, thumbs up. Take a big inhale. Initiate by lifting head of shoulders. Roll the arm bone in its socket and dip thumbs behind you. I feel like we're actually some limbo dancing. Exhale, roll forwards, dip down, press away. Match your breath to this move or it gets very complicated. Inhale, big breath, spread the ribs, spread your wings. Exhale, dip the thumbs up, turn them around, press them behind you. Spreading open, last one, inhale. Feel for loosening up the shoulders. Definitely needed every day. Never gets softer. Release, extended warrior, grab that cork block, place it to inner edge of right foot. Put your hand on it. Take the arms straight up to begin with, so you're sort of back in a kite hawk, spreading through the front of body. Let the head go. Feel for, rather than slumping into right shoulder, pushing away. So it's like you pick up some tone in the underside of your right waistline. Now there's a wrap, now there's a reach. Full side body extension. Press down into right knee bend and lengthen the left fingertips away as you turn your chest to front of room. Let the neck go. You don't need your neck to do this pose. You need everything else from the waist down in particular. Solid connection to feet. Almost feel like they're being pushed away from each other, these feet, as you drill the outside edge of left foot to mat. Come out of this slowly, float left hand down, move the block, walk your right foot to edge of mat. Both hands to inside edge of right foot, lower the left knee. Make sure it's really far away from you, this left knee, put the top of the foot down. Modification for lizard, maybe stay here, lowering down, elbows might bend, maybe even get onto elbows. Option to reach the right arm behind you, tuck left heel to butt, grab the foot, and then open it, open the front of the left thigh by pulling heel to butt. Spaciously move your breath into front of left thigh. There's a wave of sensation that comes up with the more intense poses. Stage one, breathe more slowly and deeply into that sensation. The second bit, which is really important, is don't be very neutral about your reaction to it. Otherwise, we start to tell ourselves a whole load of bollocks, frankly. Release the foot, hands to mat, step back into down dog. Take a breath. Feel for lifting the sit bones and pedaling out the feet. Second vignette, step your left foot to front of mat for warrior one eagle. Left foot straight, back foot slightly turned out at a 45-degree angle. Take your hands onto your hips and square them to the short edge of the mat. So it's very tempting in warrior one to have an open-faced hip. We need to have that squared off. We've just woken up this front right thigh. Let's feel for that. Tuck under through the right sit bone, and here's some space to be had. Rather than curling in on the front belly, lift low ribs, diaphragm up as you sink into this left knee bend. Arms reach. Wrap and hold them towards the sky. Let's do eagle arms. Float the arms forward, wrap your left arm on top of right, double wrap if you can get it. Inhale, draw shoulders back, slide them down, wrap forwards. Press forearms away from face, retuck your right sit bone and lengthen the front belly. So there's a whole load of stuff going on now. Upper back is like a sort of tight shield across the shoulders. I want you to breathe into that area, break through it. Steady yourself with a firm connection to both feet. especially outside edge of right foot. Press it down into the mat. Concentrate on your breath and ignore your reactivity to this pose. More breath. Release the arms. We're going to float into half moon. Look down at your left foot and think, yeah, that's going to be my standing leg. I'm going for it. Grab a cork block on your way in your left hand. Place the cork block to outside edge of left foot and float your right leg up, stacking hips on top of each other. Reach the right arm straight up to ceiling, let the head soften. To find your balance, breathe. Inner and outer edge of the right thigh, lift the leg as you flex the foot. Press into your left standing foot and push the floor away from you. There is a kite hawk sensation as you lift your right fingertips and spread your wings. Let the head soften. No neck. If you can take the neck out, you truly see the meaning of balance. Very slowly release, float your right foot back towards the mat and land it as softly as you can. We're back in a high lunge position. Take an interlace of hands behind you and open the chest. Spread through the collarbones. Huge breaths in and out. Soft lion's breath, or a pretty big one, frankly. Release. Hands come to mat, step back into plank, take a breath. Scoot the belly up, push the floor away. As you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers all the way down. Inhale, low cobra, lift and lengthen. Exhale, down dog. Right foot, warrior one, steps to front of mat. Back foot slightly turned out. As you inhale, drive through both legs and then square your hips off. Maybe gently encouraging left hip a little further forwards. Reach the arms up for length and feel for space in the solar plexus, tucking left sit bone underneath you. Arms float forward, eagle arms. Wrap your right arm on top of left, double wrap if you can get it. As you take your breath, draw shoulders back, snuggle them downwards, wrap forwards, pressing forearms away from the face. And then notice how nice it would be to curl in on yourself and resist it. Lift up out of yourself, spreading breath into upper back ribs. How can you sit right next to all the slightly struggly sensations that come up in this pose? Feel the rise and the swell of the intensity and breathe a little deeper. Observe, no judgment. Release. Half moon. Float forwards, putting a lot of drill now through that right foot. Grab a block in the right hand and glide yourself into half moon. Left leg raises up, foot is flex, stacking hips on top of one another. Reach your left arm to ceiling, spreading your chest, opening your arms away from each other. Let the head go. That is the key thing we're working on in this pose, just to stop using the neck. Scoop your core in towards the back spine, activate it. Drill through your right leg, lift your thigh bone a little higher, and then squeeze your right glute into the top of the hamstring. Very slowly float the left foot down, land it so you find yourself in a high lunge position. Take the arms straight up to ceiling and then float them behind you. You do the opposite interlace, the non-habitual grab, and open your chest. Lengthen into the front of your body. And then release. Step your hands down to mat. Come into down dog. Take a breath in, down dog, wrap the shoulders. Last little sequence of poses. Step left foot to front of mat for pyramid. Back foot is, it feels like warrior one, but actually the feet are closer and your legs are straight. Left foot to edge of mat, right foot slightly to edge of mat, hips square. Hands on hips, take a breath. 2 blocks might be really useful here if you've got them, bring them to the front of mat. As you exhale, come down into forward fold. Notice that your right hip's probably shifted back, and I want you to pull it forward so you square yourself off. Put both hands into the hip socket on the left thigh and push into that space as you lengthen your upper back. Start to slowly lower yourself down if that's available to you. Walking hands possibly down the left leg to the shin. If you've got those blocks, 2 blocks or 1, you could place on either side of the left foot and lean into them. This gives you really nice opportunity for long back. Choose a level that works for you. If you've just got 1, you can still use that to push both hands into and lengthen. If your hamstring is a little more open, fingertips come to floor. Please don't curl in on the belly. I want you to be absolutely anal about the length through the back spine. So the stretch comes into back of legs. Squeeze, this is important, squeeze your left glute in towards the connection of hamstring to top of thigh so that you don't overstretch. It's an active stretch. Butt is engaged. Very slowly come out of this. Lower the right knee to mat for half splits or nomad's pose. Take your left leg straight out in front of you. Flex the foot. Again, hands on hips. Start to lower yourself forwards with the knee, back right knee stacked under right hip. Blocks, again, very helpful. You can have them on either side of the left leg. Maybe fingertips come to floor. You can stay here in half splits, or you can move into nomads. The difference being that you point and press the left foot downwards and feel for touching the top of the bottom of the foot to the mat. Mine doesn't quite get there, who cares? But I do get this lovely stretch through the front of the shin. If you have more to go, you reflex the foot, you start to slide your left foot forwards, maybe walking the right knee back to move towards splits. Any version of splits that is available to you this morning. Blocks can be helpful again to press into the floor with on either side of the thigh. You can also take a block and place it under your left thigh. That's quite a nice thing to do if you're kind of almost there. There is no judgment. There's no good or bad version of this, right? The version is what works for you and what feels good in your body. And can you still breathe when you're in it? Slowly come out of this. Slide, it's not that elegant if you're in splits, the left foot back, and step back into plank. Take a breath. Scoop the belly, tuck tailbone as you exhale, knees lower, chest lowers all the way down. Inhale, low cobra. Lengthen the front body, squeezing shoulder blades together. Exhale, down dog. Right foot steps to front of mat, pyramid. Feet about 3 foot apart, legs straight. Come on. Hands on hips, everything squared. Take an inhale. As you exhale with a long back, come to halfway forward fold. Plug both hands into the top of your right hip and push the hip back as you lengthen through the crown of the head. This is a really nice spot to stay with. And to breathe into the back of the right thigh and squeeze the right butt cheek inwards. If you feel more open, walk down the leg, maybe holding shin. Blocks, props available. Fingertips to floor.
But keep thinking about this. Every time you inhale, unfurl your front belly. Pick up your chest like you're doing a little mini cobra, and then deposit yourself with length downwards. Back of the head softens, jaw is relaxed. Flubber out the lips on your next exhale. Lower down for half splits, nomads. Left knee to mat, stacked under left hip. Walk your right foot forwards, flex the foot. Feels, again, just like pyramid, hand into top of thigh, maybe you forward fold. Maybe you walk downwards, fingertips on blocks, all available, right? For nomads, press the foot down and feel for lengthening the front of the shin. Still softening your breath into tight spaces. If you've got further to go, slide with a flexed right foot, the heel forwards, walk the left thigh back and lower yourself down. Use props as necessary and find your breath. So these versions of splits bring up quite a lot of, I can only describe it with that noise, like a sort of, there's an excitement in your body which verges on struggle. Breathe more deeply and press that sensation, just mute it off slightly. And then just sit with the intensity and kind of, calmly breathe through it. Very slowly come out of this, whatever version you're in. Walk yourself back, just come momentarily into down dog. As you pedal out the feet, I just want you to notice what the backs of your legs feel like now we've come to the end of the class. Different. Spacious, a little more open. Come down onto knees. Okay, brilliant. Let's just finish up. Let's just come into a straddle, seated straddle. Take a little bit of pressure off the back legs. We're now on the inner edge of legs, sort of similar. Firstly, just take your fingertips behind you, push into the floor, lift your chest, and feel for this. We worked a little bit with this as well, this sense of opening up into the heart center, the front of the chest. Flex your feet, take a long breath in and feel for space in the front of the belly. Press the backs of your legs into the floor mat beneath you and feel a sort of lift upwards. Now move your fingertips forwards. And with slow, steady breaths, come into forward fold. Firstly, take an inhale and pick up your chest. As you exhale, maybe with a little sway side to side, just come into forward fold. Doesn't matter where you get to, just notice the stories that are already coming up. The inner monologue, not very good at this. All I want you to think about is spaciously breathing into your sacrum. Let's think about that. Low back, take an inhale, spread your sit bones. As you exhale, let the low back kind of completely spread wider. So I know there's tightness in the inner thighs, but a lot of this is backy stuff. Do not curl the front body into flexion. Feel for length at every opportunity. Chin softens to chest. That's the only dip allowed. On your next inhale, press yourself up. Take hands to outside edge of thighs, draw them together. Come and lie down on your back. Before Shavasana, let's just do Baddha Konasana on the back. So pick up your feet and press the soles of your feet together. Grab either ankles or maybe you can get the top of your feet. Be aware, conscious of your tailbone, your sacrum, and press them towards the mat. And then feel like you pull
your Baddha feet towards your chest rather than your groin. Spaciously breathe into your outside edge of hips and the low back. Let's do 2 rounds of Uddiyana. Take an inhale. Blow everything out of the mouth. Hold the breath out. Don't breathe. Scoop belly up and under, vacuuming the diaphragm to upper ribs. Release the belly. Inhale. Exhale everything out. Blow it out the mouth. Empty. Don't breathe. Hold the breath. Suck your belly up and under into rib cage, vacuuming out. Pull feet to chest. Release the belly. Release the legs. Shavasana. Options, legs up the wall. If you've got a bolster, you could use that to place under your backs of knees. Otherwise, you're extended and open. Do a little check-in with yourself. Snuggle shoulder blades away from ears. Maybe retuck the tailbone. Feel for softening the breath, but not losing connection with it. Notice your willingness to be in Shavasana and give yourself the pause that you most thoroughly deserve. Close eyes, cover them with something to block light out if you've got that available. And just come into relaxation. Start to deepen your breath. Take a long, extensive inhale. Feel the side ribs and the back ribs and the front ribs open up. And as you exhale, open your mouth and sigh it out. Let's do that again. Take a long breath in. And a big sigh out. Bring some movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Arms reach up above you, point toes in the opposite direction. And then hug your knees towards your chest and maybe just a little roll side to side, softening the low back. Extend your right arm up above you and roll onto your right side and pause. Keep your eyes shut. Notice the rise and fall of your breath and the press of right ribs to the floor. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Very slowly press yourself up to seated. Hands into prayer at the center of your chest. Connect to your breath and lift up through your heart center. As you exhale, sit beside yourself on your park bench and accept all of it. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Well done. Sorry, I did run over a little bit. Normal procedure.